So we're in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Atlantic City International Airport, and behind me are the Thunderbirds. That's the Air Force stunt pilots. And later this afternoon, I'm going to be flying in the back of an F-16, and I'm terrified. The Thunderbirds have been flying jets and air shows around the world since 1953. Today, their elite pilots push their F-16s through maneuvers that test the limits of man and machine. Basically, the G-forces you experience during flight feel like getting punched in the stomach by a prize fighter while riding a roller coaster. Fighter pilots train for this in centrifuges before ever stepping foot in their aircraft. I, on the other hand, got the abridged version in a half-hour briefing with the Thunderbirds flight surgeon.
We're going to talk about the two things you're going to ask about the rest of your life when people find out you flew with the Thunderbirds is, one, did you get sick, and two, did you pass out, right?
Okay.
You're going to take off and go about 500 miles an hour straight up to about 12,000, 16,000 feet, and probably about 3 to 4 seconds.
Oh my God.
So let's talk about some G-forces, all right? So G's are created by speed and change in nose direction.
I see. So basically what you're saying is that like G-forces really happen when you start to change the direction of the plane and accelerate in a new direction.
Exactly. Any issues with motion sickness in the past?
No.
So, yeah.
There's always a first for everything.
Yeah.
Under normal conditions, the average human can take about 5 Gs. That's 5 times the force of gravity. During our flight, we would do stunts way more intense. So I had to learn how to breathe like a fighter pilot to keep from passing out.
Like that?
Say hook.
Like hook.
Yep,
Oh,
yep,
like-
yep,
yeah.
that's it. So make that perfect.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever worn a flight suit. Definitely the first time I've ever worn a onesie.
Next, the flight equipment guys zipped me into special air bladders to help keep the blood from pooling in my feet, the harness that would act as my seatbelt and connect to my emergency parachute, and most importantly, measured me for an oxygen mask.
I'm gonna go a little bigger.
You're saying I've got a big head?
The grooming standards in the Air Force don't allow for the pilots to have
There you
beard
go.
for the very reason of oxygen masks.
So my facial hair is making this more dangerous for me.
I think you're gonna be fine, sir.
I sat down with my pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Walsh, a graduate of the Weapons School. That's the Air Force's Top Gun program.
So what I'll actually do is I'll roll us up on our back, and now I'll pull, and the force of gravity pushes us into our seat, so that's positive G, way better.
Lowen talked me through the different stunts he would be doing, like an aileron roll, where the plane spins on its axis, a 4G clover loop, a 2G barrel roll, and a bunch of other things I don't really remember because I was too busy contemplating why I had agreed to do this, and realizing it was far too late to back out.
Mike, you ready to go?
Sure am.
All right, there's 300 knots. There's 350. There's 400 knots. And here come the G's. Go ahead, look left and right. Holy shit. Woohoo! We're gonna get set up for our first Thunderbird maneuver. Smoke is on, nose coming up. There's 4 G's right there. Up on over the top.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah. We're gonna do just a single aileron roll, okay?
Ooh, holy shit.
Are we going for all 4 today?
Oh man, I don't know about it.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah, hold on. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Roll to the left. Here it is. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. All right.
Immediately after that quadruple flip, I made use of my barf bag for the first time. Then, for the next hour or so, Lowen showed me what an F-16 can do, and I did my best to keep conscious while G-forces were slamming into my abdomen. All of this led into a 9G turn,
Here come the G's.
the maximum the plane can handle.
All right, just hang right in there. Well done, Michael.
After that, we did a few more tricks.
Wow.
I barfed once more, and then it was time to head home.
All right, that's about it, my man. We're gonna do some sightseeing.
Let's do it. So how'd you try out to be a Thunderbird? What was that like?
My dad was a construction worker. My mother was a secretary, and to be honest, they went to the original Woodstock together.
Nice.
So, you know, I didn't necessarily grow up in a military family. I mean, I started wanting to fly fighters after I watched the movie Top Gun. And, you know, if you work hard enough, you can do it.
Do you ever worry when you talk to kids that, you know, they're getting the wrong idea about what the job is or anything like that? Or
I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to grow up and be a fighter pilot is super cool. But then as you get older and you get a little bit better understanding of the way the world works or what that job entails, then maybe you decide to do something else. All right, gears coming down.
Flying in a fighter jet is the world's most expensive ab workout. The force applied to your body is amazing. It's exhausting and requires all of your concentration just to keep from blacking out. But these guys go through flips and turns and rolls and whatever the hell else, all while flying in precision formation with their jets just inches apart. They make it look easy, and they never vomit.